Hey guys, enter the stars. And thanks for showing up tonight. Really appreciate you guys showing up to this live chat. Let me know if you guys can hear me. We'll do a little sound check and then we'll go ahead and get started. We're going to cover a couple of topics tonight. Roddy Piper, censorship. We're going to look at some channel goals. And we're going to talk about a little bit more about some new discoveries on the inner eye Earth model. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Had a couple questions on the chat about blacklisted people that you see listed in the chat here. And I want to explain to you as soon as I click on this setting here, we'll go ahead and do that, change settings, and I'll show you what I have going on here. I've had to block hundreds, if not thousands of people that just come on and just generally act out of control. Okay. I mean, this is just unbelievable. Here's all of the users that have been blacklisted on this channel. Now, this is good for other channels that want to come on here and look at who all the trolls are. This is basically a troll list. Okay. These are people that have been given 3 strikes who pretty much have decided that they're going to break the rules. I hate to start tonight's chat out on a negative note, but I did want to explain that because I was called out on the blacklist. Also, somebody said something about anonymous. I want to be very clear. I have no affiliation with Anonymous. In fact, I've denounced them on a video that I've re-uploaded like 3 times called Anonymous Exposed because of their 5th of November affiliations. Okay. And all of that is public knowledge. It seems that despite being the most transparent channel on YouTube and divulging all my information, all my personal information to you guys, I am still being called out. I've lost a lot of friends the last couple of weeks, YouTube channel friends, and I've pretty much made the choice to go it alone. Now, I will be promoting channels here and there, as I always have been, but with the caveat that basically I don't necessarily, promote any of their other ideas other than the one I'm promoting. And it's sad to have to say that, but people will use whatever they can against this channel. Okay. Now the beauty of this channel is it's always has been a conglomeration of ideas. It's been all of us working together. And anyone who comes to the channel can see that. They can see that we all work together to find the truth. And sometimes, I'll get stuck on an idea, and I do realize that, like the 88s. But guess what, you guys? You remember back a year, 2 years ago when the 88s first came up and everyone was telling me, let it go, let it go, let it go. And I kept at it, and now look where we are. Okay. So that's an example of leadership. Sometimes you got to be a leader. Okay. You got to kind of go outside of what everyone else is thinking because you know in your heart what the truth is. And that's what I kind of feel about the inner eye Earth model. Now, there's been some new discoveries, and we'll kind of start there. And then I'll pop back in the chat and see if I can't answer some of your guys' questions. But pretty amazing stuff, you guys. This is a Dandelion song. This is a prime example of someone I really haven't delved into a lot of her work, but the work that she did that looks great to me is that she discovered how the optic nerve crosses in the middle of the brain near the pineal gland. Now, why is this discovery amazing? Well, because it's the missing cross that we've all been looking for. We'd already established that the eyes are the eyes of good and evil. Now, here's my theory, okay, and this is just a personal feeling about this. When Eve's eyes were opened, before that, according to our definition of blindness, she was blind. And her entire reality probably existed inside and within the pineal experience. But as soon as she ate the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, which is the eyes of good and evil, as we saw Christ was crucified between the two thieves, which are like the eyes. Then we saw that her eyes were opened and that her pineal experience and connection to the creator was somewhat severed. It all makes sense. If you guys look at, let's take a look at heliofant.com. This was a website that we ended up finding a lot of information on regarding iPad Go 2. And this was simply amazing. Now, we did on a previous video go from start to finish, cover to cover, decoding this. But I want to take us back to the website because there's a lot more to glean from this. I'm wondering if they're actually going to show us the split brain here. This is pretty fascinating because this falls in line with what we might be finding out was going on, with our brains and the eyes of good and evil and things like that. Okay, let's take a look at this. Let's go into clues here. I think this is where it was, the classroom. Now, inside this classroom, okay, this is the scene that's not showing us the actual split brain on the wall. We can actually look it up a different way. But I believe that at that point that she partook of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, that our brains became disconnected in the middle. So a physical change happened in us. And that's why Christ is the only way to the Father, which is like the pineal experience. Now, the pineal experience, as we've explained, is not what the world is telling us it is. It isn't, reaching higher ascension through clarification of your pineal gland and, reaching these chakra levels through specific actions that you take and doorways that no, that's not what it is. It's a Christ-like experience of having love in your heart. Okay. Perfect love casts out all fear and evil. Okay. And so the closer that we can get to that experience, loving those around us as we do ourselves, loving our creator as we do ourselves, basically following the 10 commandments and Jesus' example, we can find Christ. And God is love. He's pure love. So, once we find that, we approach that in the truest sense of the word, in the truest form, then only at that point can we get closer to God. Let's see here. Split brain, pet goat. Let's take a look here. We should be able to bring this up. This is helpful to you guys because this is how I do my research, okay? What you're watching now is my research in real time. Here's a good example of the split brain here. Now, you'll see the serpent next to it. That's your reptilian brain, okay? That's what we're mixed with, and that's why our brains are split. The tree of good and evil is the reptilian brain, okay? Now, let's take a look at the chat here, see where you guys are at. Yes, the eyes are the two pillars, the red and the blue. Red and blue make purple. That's why purple is the magic color, heliotrope. Doing some research on that the other day as well. Ahmed, you got blacklisted. We'll have to undo that. Don't know why that happened. That happens by accident sometimes too. So send me a little personal message and, we can undo that. But sorry about that, man. All right, let's continue on here. Look here in the chat. Yes, pure love is when you love everything on earth created by Mother Nature. Absolutely. All right, let's continue on here. Talk a little bit about Roddy Piper, you guys. That was simply unbelievable. What happened was, we'd been doing quite a few videos on Roddy Piper. One, we were identifying his connection to the Manitoba Legislative Building, that whole area. That's where he's from. He's Canadian. He did the movie They Live, of course, which was based off of a short story called 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, what makes this short story peculiar is that basically in the story the character dies after seeing reptilians, just like in the movie. He dies of a heart attack at 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, this is peculiar because Roddy Piper died of a heart attack too, but they said that he died in his sleep. So there are definitely some synchronicities within that experience. And I just did a video on that. You guys can find that in my last 5 or 6 videos. So, basically, Roddy Piper, we can go into this a little bit more, you guys, because, I just want to explain to you that Hollywood is a platform to fictionalize the truth. That's what they're there for. Okay. They're there to fictionalize the truth. So what does that mean? Well, they take the truth and they make it a story. I remember growing up as a kid and my friends would tease me and they would say, "That's not true. You just saw that in the movies." Okay. That's the magic behind showing us truth as fiction. So that anyone who ever puts the pieces together will be called a movie nut or someone who is not living based in reality. And they try to separate our reality from fiction when in reality it's all the same and it's all around us. And this is what they do. And then a lot of the news stories that you see that are supposed to be real, those are fake. So everything is like mirrored. Okay. So I hate to say it, but even some of the people we hold dear to our heart, close to our heart, who are fans of in Hollywood, who we think may be good, chances are, even if they are good, they've already been compromised by the money. Now, I know that Roddy Piper was down and out, so to speak, and that he was waiting on his pension until he was 65 before he could get a little bit of money to, continue on with his life. And I think he had told some people that he wasn't going to make it to 65, and he sure didn't. So, that's my opinion on that. This might be a hard pill for some people to swallow, understanding that pretty much all of Hollywood is run by the enemy. Yes, Hollywood is the enemy's Bible. He wants to be like the Most High and tell his prophets his plans before he carries them out. So we got some more people on. Thanks for coming in, you guys. Some people are having problems chatting. Really sorry about that. Yeah, some of it, you guys, it's a phone upgrade. So if you're accessing this through your phone, oftentimes that will not allow you unless you have, upgraded software. I've heard that happen, and I've also heard like if you don't have Google Plus, unfortunately, like they kind of forced us into some things, which brings me to another point, you guys. Censorship. It has gone off the rails. First thing I want to say is please be sure you're always checking to make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Just got a couple notifications today from people that said that my videos are not showing up in their feed. You guys, this isn't in my head, it's real. And if you want, I can show you the dozens of emails I get a day that say that people have to resubscribe to my channel or that my videos are simply not coming into their feed. With 22,000 subscribers, these videos should be viewed by at least 3,000 to 5,000 people. And many days I'm lucky to get 800 views on a video. Now, I know I put out a lot of content, and to be honest with you, I for the foreseeable future, I just don't see myself putting up as much content for many reasons. One, it's really hard to know who to trust. As you guys know, you get a lot of your information. I get a lot of my information from you guys. And I can name several times where I've gotten bad information on purpose to try to make me look like a nut or to have me chasing my tail or running after something that's not there. And I have to be very careful of that. And it's taking a toll on my, my well-being in terms of, because of what I do here is so important. I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to lead people down the wrong direction, but I also got to follow the Holy Spirit. And when it's talking to me and it's banging on my door, I got to get the information out to you guys. And a lot of time it's not popular stuff like this inner eye earth model that I've been talking about. And so what happens is is you get people that they don't want to have their name associated with mine because they feel that I've gone off the deep end. But here's the beauty of it. This is why I love doing these live chats, because you guys get to talk to me and see exactly who I am. And also, you know that I'm a real person. I talk to many of you guys. A lot of you guys come and comment on the channel. I appreciate it. And you also know that I'm not crazy, that this stuff is real. Okay. So I do know that there are channels and entities out there running around trying to pick you guys off too. A lot of you guys are being approached. And these, you guys, many of you guys don't even have channels. You're just, you're coming on, you're subscribed to my channel, and you come on and comment, which I appreciate. And then you're getting people attacking you. And that is why my block list is so extensive, because anyone who attacks my subs, they will be blocked, especially if it's just like warrantless attack, or, people running around trying to create doubt, like subversively, while, smiling to my face and telling me everything's okay. And so when that happens, that person gets blocked. And it's sad because I got to do this every single day. So here's the deal with my let's see here, my comment section is what I wanted to talk to you guys about. This is my comment section, okay, for all you guys to see. This is every single day what I have to do. So please don't get upset if your comment doesn't show up, because this is crazy, because this is what Google Plus has done. Okay. See this tab here? It's called held for a review. 209. It says 209, but there never is that many. Click on it. Okay. There's none right now. Likely spam. Okay. All the good comments are automatically put into my spam folder, whether they have a link in them or not. So if anyone's going around YouTube telling you, oh, that's just YouTube, and if you try to put a link in your comment, it'll automatically come up as spam. No, there is a concerted effort to spam away and hold for review. Well, actually, this hold for review, there's a screening that I do. So if any certain words are used, then they're held for review. But this spam folder right here, they'll just randomly throw great comments into my spam folder. So every day I have to come in 5, 6, 10 times a day and review this, and it literally takes hours of my time. Just opening the gates. So they try to gatekeep your comments. This is ridiculous. Okay. This is Google Plus. Okay. So this is what I do. I come in here, I check this at least 2, 3, or 4, 5 times a day to make sure that all your comments are seen. Okay. But it does take up a lot of time. All right, let's take a look at our next topic. So, there's going to be some changes, you guys. I'm going to be doing probably less videos. I can only use like 5 to 15 second segments of a movie in my videos. If I use any longer than 15 seconds, it's flagged, and at any time they can strike me and pull down my channel. Okay, and all this goes away. Now, as you guys have noticed, we've amassed, I think I've got 1,700 videos now. I can't even believe it myself. Now, many of those are re-uploads. I'll be honest with you. Lately I've been re-uploading videos that I've done like a couple years ago or last year that I thought were just really good, and I wanted you guys to have them again. And it's amazing because those videos that maybe only got 1,000 views before, some of them go viral this time or go up to 5, 6, 7,000 views. And I think that's pretty amazing because it speaks to the work that was done. So a lot of times I'll do re-upload, and usually I'll let you know, but sometimes I don't. And that's where we're at with that. But, these film decodes are just unbelievable. We're just finding actually the Twin Towers getting hit by planes and meteors and all kinds of crazy synchronicities. This latest vid we did with Virginia Madsen, she was actually born on 9/11. And then they asked her how long she's had her cello. Cello has 2 L's, like a double L, like the Twin Towers, right? And she said, since I was 12. And when she was 12, it was 1973 in real life. And so that's when the World Trade Center opened. And these synchronicities are just everywhere in the past. Which brings us to our next topic. Where is the channel going? Okay. Now, some of you have gotten a little frustrated with me, and I get that because everything is hindsight. Okay, but that's my gift, and that's what I cover. Okay. This 923 thing came up, and this is where I lost all my friends because I was showing you guys the 923 in the movies. I was actually the first one to show it on that clock in that one film. Someone else ran with that, and that video is viral. Mine I took down because I got attacked by my friends for fear mongering. So the Bible says if something causes you to sin or creates division, cut it off. So I did the right thing and I pulled those videos down. Now they're still in my video list, and I can pull them back up anytime I want. And you can bet I'm going to pull them back up if something does happen on 923. But there is a movement afoot to discredit, people that are, date setting. And as you guys know, it's rare that I date set. I don't do that often. But when I do, or when I'm at least calling out a date, I will never tell you that something is going to happen on that date. But I do show you the patterns and synchronicities. And so basically, I'm just not going to be doing as much of that. Unfortunately, this is YouTube. This is what we're stuck with. When a 175,000 subscriber channel shows your channel in their video and then associates you with a website, what am I going to do about that, you guys? Okay. So that's pretty much where we're at. Now, having said that, I'm not going to hate people who disassociate themselves with me. Okay. It's sad, but I've done it myself at least once, with the whole Max Resistance website. Many of those people were my friends, and I've been asked to be removed from there because of a lot of the negative publicity that they were getting. Because that's just more crap that you guys got to deal with, right? That you got to defend me about. But here's what I tell you guys, okay? If you're being attacked by these trolls saying Casey this and Casey that, simply ask them, who are you? What is your name? What is your first and last name? Where do you live? What high school did you go to? And, if they don't have an answer for you, then you've got your answer, okay? Because anyone who wants to throw out accusations, if they're not public, then they automatically lose all their teeth. Because I'm out there and I'm public, okay? Now, other changes that are going to happen on the channels, I'm just really not going to be able to reach out to a lot of you guys like I was, I tried it. I gave my phone number out. I've talked to many, many of you. But even in doing that, it doesn't seem to matter. I'm still attacked by other channels. So if it's not helping me and it's actually exposing me, I'm going to have to pull back a little bit. And I hate to do that. But again, it's the nature of the beast. And there's really so much important information that needs to happen on this channel that I can't risk, and I can't be burdened down, with a lot of this spiritual warfare. Okay. And it makes me sad, but I think that's where we're going to have to head with this, So, what do you guys want to talk about? Let's take a look in the chat here. Let's mix this up. Now, as you guys know, none of my stuff's ever scripted. I'm on here talking to you guys real. Okay. Many of my videos, I just talk. I don't script anything. I do edit things later, but I'm just talking. And I just kind of let the Holy Spirit guide everything that's happening, which is pretty cool. We've really never been wrong on really big subjects or the general direction of this channel. Things have all kind of happened as we said they're happening. Patterns we've identified have continued to be present. And that's a good thing, you guys. That means we're going in the right direction. All right, let's take a look here. So much for friends. Yeah, and look, I'd rather have someone just, if they're done and they just don't agree with me or feel like we're not going in the same direction, it's the other day, and that's fine. send me a private email. Let me know what's going on. I'll unsub your channel. You can unsub mine, and then we'll go on from there. But it hurts a little bit. But as you guys know, I dropped my ego a long time ago. I just don't. You can't have an ego and be on YouTube. It'll drive you absolutely insane. Because you'll want to battle every single person that comes on here, and that's just not what I'm about, you guys. It's about love. Okay. All right, let's look in the chat here. Berenstein Bears, I was telling you guys that Amarashima had ran a video where someone had sent him a TV guide from that era with the actual spelling that no one could find, that we all had in our heads, but no one could find. And it was on that TV guide. That same subscriber that sent that to him sent it to me, and I did not do a video on it. And so I'm glad that he did, because I guess people need to see that. I saw a crazy shape-shifting video today, and normally I'd never believed those shape-shifting videos until I saw the one I saw today. Did you guys see that? It was unbelievable. It was Britney Spears, and she rolls her eyes, and all of a sudden they turn into a slit, and he did it in slow motion. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. So I think I shared that. Oh, you guys said I lost audio. Let's take a look here. Sometimes this thing drops out. And they do like to mess with me a bit too. Let's take a look at here. I got this Megadeth thing pulled up. Thanks, Linda. Yeah, we just got to keep pressing forward. Look, guys, I don't want to minimize all the support I get. Emails a day from you guys telling me to keep going. You love the work and encouraging me. And all of that is why I'm here. Okay, that's why I'm here. But we are in a war. We're in a battle. And so what happens is when you see some of the big players doubting you and not agreeing with the direction that you're going with the channel, or you catch people backstabbing you, that can hurt a little bit, But what you do is you just you realize that a lot of this is virtual. Okay. I don't know these people, I know love when I see it. When I get encouragement from you guys, that's real, that's real, because there's no agenda behind that. Okay. But people that want to come with negativity, a lot of that's probably not even real, or it's staged, or it's set up, or it's acted, whatever you want to call it. So I just move forward. Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, Spoken Night. Yeah, he's one of the guys who's decided to move on, and I respect him because he came with me with respect. That's fine. I've shared a lot of his work, over the years. Known him for a couple of years. He knows who I am. He's known my channel since I had 500 subscribers, and I was a little shocked, but my beliefs come with love. Everything's based on intent. And if you know that my intention is to follow the Holy Spirit and love each and every one of you, there's really no reason why someone should disassociate themselves from you if they are absolutely sure of your intent, because we all are in a search for truth. And there are going to be times where we get it wrong. Okay. Now, those that are intentionally out there steering people the wrong direction, that's a whole different subject. Okay. That's where you have to draw battle lines and say, this isn't my deal. I'm moving on from this. But Spoken Night of anyone knows my intentions. He knows what kind of person I am, because I've helped him as he's helped me. He shared a lot of my work. I share a lot of his work, and I'm always, encouraging him, and that's okay. Things happen. I know my treasure's in heaven, and I do know that eventually all the truth will be known, and then that's what's going to happen. And not that I'm going to get some kind of glory out of that, but I do know that that my work and the results of that are all being going to be reaped in heaven. So it really doesn't matter to me at the end of the day. All right, let's move on from that. Hey guys, I found this. This is pretty creepy. Megadeth. lyrics for Foreclosure of a Dream. And as I'm reading this, I'm thinking of the Twin Towers, the World Trade Center, Foreclosure of a Dream, rise so high. That's a high rise, right? Yet so far to fall. Towers fell in the fall, didn't they? A plan of dignity and balance for all political breakthrough. Euphoria is high, more borrowed money, more borrowed time. Backed in a corner, caught up in the race, means to an end, ended in disgrace. Perspective is lost in the spirit of the chase. Foreclosure of a dream. And, Holocaust is exactly what 9/11 was. Barren land, are worthless now, dead without a dead. Slipping away from an iron grip, nature's scales are forced to tip. Nature's scales. That's like the scales of justice, huh? So this just goes on: insufficient funds, insanity, suicide, and that's our world monetary system. I believe this released on October 13th, 1992. So this was a couple months before the 1993 bombing, and this is several decades before the opening of the World Trade Center Tower. So that was pretty interesting. As I'm looking at this, there's 79 days remaining till the end of the year on October 13th, which is kind of amazing because this is 92. This is 22 years. Wait, 92, 2002, 2012. This is 22 years before the Freedom Tower opened, okay? And we know that 79 is the 22nd prime number. So this is how I decode these things, you guys. It's not hard. There's a set formula to it, and it repeats over and over and over again. Because like I said, Hollywood is, their main goal is to fictionalize the truth. That's why they're there. And that is the magic, okay? That's what makes people fall asleep and just not believe anything channels like mine say. All right, let's look in the chat here. I want to hop back to the inner eye, you guys. And like I said, Dandelion found that the optic nerve crosses inside the brain. So we have our cross. We have the two thieves, which are the eyes of good and evil. Jesus looked to one and he said, "You will be with me in paradise." That was the thief of the good eye, most likely because he acknowledged Christ, which is pretty much all we need to do. At any point in our life, we can do that. Christ being pure love, okay? There are people that are born, live, and die who never will know Jesus in the word Jesus, okay? And so if you know love, God is love, and you know him, and you know that, then you can be saved, okay? But you have to submit to that love, that idea of pure love, and let go of ego, pride, selfishness. Now, all the other rules that happen are to help you stay focused on love. That is what the 10 Commandments are for. They're love-based commandments, okay? Not hurting other people, not hurting yourself, loving God, acknowledging a God, okay? So this is the way. There's no other way to the Father except through the Son, which is weird because when you look at the eyes and how they cross, which Dandelion talks about in the middle of the eye, the image is reversed and it passes right near the pineal gland. Now, here's the crazy thing, you guys. The pineal gland is a mix of serotonin and melatonin, okay? One is dark in color and the serotonin is light in color. It's like the milk and honey. Now, I believe that Adam and Eve, their eyes were closed. They were figuratively blind. in our current definition of the word. And once the lens cap was taken off, which is why we see the Apple logo, right? That is the lens cap removed. Let's take a look at that because this is pretty fascinating. This is the Apple logo. It is a removed lens cap of the eye. Okay, that's what this is. Okay, they took the lens cap off and they put it up here. All right, so now we can see through the eyes of good and evil. Now, the only thing that would make this even more compelling is if the Apple logo was two apples. Then you would know for sure what I'm talking about. But that would be like a dead giveaway. Okay. So that she was able to see her pineal experience was severed or maimed, whatever you want to call it. And I believe that sleep was then introduced into the world. I don't believe that sleep was necessary before all this happened. Now, a lot of this is speculation, of course. Well, this is what's kind of been impressed upon me by the Holy Spirit. And I'm going to share it with you guys because these are my beliefs. Okay. And so now we have a dance between melatonin and serotonin, the two chemicals. Serotonin, our waking chemical, melatonin, our sleeping chemical in our brain, our split brain. Now, let's get back to the chat here. I don't want to lose you guys. Now, what happens is it even says in the Bible that her eyes were opened. It tells us that. And then what is the next thing that they talk about? God says, how did you know you were naked? Well, because she could now see that she was naked. Before that, she was blind. Now, of course, we've been given a different variation of this story. We're told that it actually means something different. So when I'm talking to you, telling you this, it's very foreign to you, especially for those of you who grew up in a religious experience. When I'm telling you that the reason why God asked her how she knew she was naked is because he knew she couldn't see before that. Now she could see. The lens cap was taken off. See? So what happened? So now she could see. That's the devil's playground, which is where we are now. The eyes of good and evil. Now we talked about the inner eye. Let's take a look back at that and just do a recap on this. Now, I want you guys, for those of you that are on the fence about this, if you do go to my playlist, by the way, I do have a new playlist. Let me share that with you real quick. I'm kind of jumping around a little bit, but let's see here. Dashboard. Wait, actually, I want to go here. Playlist. Whoops. Dashboard. Okay. So basically, here we go. I want to show you guys this playlist, this new one that I just uploaded. This is pretty amazing. The energy weapon that took down the World Trade Center. What I did is I took all my Brookhaven videos and I compiled them. It's 10 videos. But this is pretty cool because I show some movie foreshadowing, talking about the rings and energy and destruction. Okay. There's probably other videos that I have that show this as well. But I think I got most of them in here. There's some random ones here and there. This is really good right here for you guys to check out. The energy weapon that took down the World Trade Center. Let's get back to this inner eye. And we just explained to you what's happening in the middle of the brain. In fact, let's start there, okay? Center brain eye. Optic lens, optic nerve actually is what it's called. Okay. And they cross. Okay, so here it is. And Dandelion Song hung in there with me and she believed. Okay. So when you believe, you keep searching, right? So she says she did a video and I think she actually mentioned me in her video. She said, Casey, the eyes cross inside the brain. Now your pineal gland is like somewhere in here. Okay. And here's the cross that Jesus was crucified on. Okay. Here's the two thieves. Okay. It's all here. Golgotha. He was crucified in Golgotha. That means skull. Okay. So when people disassociate themselves from me and attack me based on my looking into this, it tells me something about them. It tells me that they're still locked into religious dogma and that they can't even open their mind to understand that the knowledge that may increase in the last days, that it could be all about something like this. Okay. Because I'm showing you all the components. God created this, not the devil. He knows the truth. Now, if I was going on and on about some other symbols that had nothing to do with the anatomy of the human brain, then you could call me a heretic or whatever. But when I'm looking at God's creation and trying to draw inferences from our reality, I think that's fair game. Okay. So, I'm not forcing this on you. I'm not telling you guys this is necessary for salvation. It's the very same thing you already know, and that is you need love in your heart, okay, to be saved. God's not going to save you if, believing in Jesus means loving and following his example, okay? Believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, you shall be saved. Okay, so this is only serves to build faith, and that's why I encourage you guys who are on the fence about this to read the comments in the comment section under some of these videos and watch the amazing power of the Holy Spirit, of the power it's had over people's lives to help change their life, to believe in God. Many atheists even believing in him after knowing this information. Okay, let's see. So we go in the inner eye here. We discussed this at length, you guys. We're going to recap it real quickly. We know that the retina is back here, and we know that this eye, let's blow this up for you guys. View image. This is what I do. Show you guys some little shortcuts of how this all works. Control plus, blow this up. Okay, there we go. All right. So if I could flip this on its side, I would show you that our Earth exists atop this contact lens. We saw this in our Contact movie Decode, which is pretty amazing. I'm surprised that video didn't get more views. That was one of the better videos that I've ever done. Okay, we live atop this. I showed you the star spin. The equator is here. Okay, if I could flip this on its side. And when you look up in the stars at the equator, they spin out and around. They spin out and around. And then in the east, they go straight up. It looks like a fleur de lis, or fleur de lis, I think you pronounce it. For everything good, there's a counterfeit. So you can bet that for everything that Satan shows you, the enemy shows you, he's also counterfeiting it. So for everything good that God does, Satan is counterfeiting it with something bad to confuse you. So when I say it's the fleur de lis, that's going to freak some people out. They're going to be like, whoa, that's impossible. Well, it's because the devil's he has the knowledge. He knows what's going on. He knows what heaven looks like. We have proof of it in the night sky. The enemy didn't create the stars. So why are they spinning like a fleur de lis? I didn't make them spin like a fleur de lis. God did. So you have to throw out everything you thought you knew. Okay. Now, on this side of the equator, on this side of the world, it's the same thing occurs. Anywhere on this equator, remember, this is sideways. I'm sorry I can't turn this for you guys. This is our Earth exists on this contact lens. It's the back of the lens. It's a convex Earth, and right around the middle of it is the equator. Okay. Look out in the night sky. Owl eyes here. Owl eyes here. At the north, the stars spin in one direction. And at the south, they spin in one direction, which is the lower part of the owl eyes. So you get a spin here, a spin there, okay? It's exactly what it would look like if this was a giant disco globe with a giant mirror inside of it. That's what the reflection would look like, you guys. Okay? Okay, here's the retina and the rods and cones, all right? Now, the rods and cones look like a beehive. This is the hive that we're stuck in. This is the hive complex. Let me check back in the chat. Hopefully you guys are still rolling here. All right. Very good. Just want to make sure you guys are all right. Checking back in on you. Now we'll head back over here. All of this, the rods and cones all along the edge of this eye look like a hive. They look like a beehive. That's what the hive is, you guys. We're stuck in the eyes of good and evil. They're two beehives. All right. I can't put it any more simply than that. This is the retina is like the tree. This is the tree of life. It looks like a tree. It gives us life giving. It provides all life. Okay. So, and it's from God. Okay. So when atheists tell me I don't believe in God, okay, God will just cut your part of the retina off and you can just wither away. No problem. He doesn't have any problem doing that. It's free will universe. You don't have to believe in him. I do. Okay. All of our society, all of not society, but all of nature is formed in branches. We talked a little bit about this on the last video. Everything's branches. Your hand, branches. They call it. It's called fractals. Okay, everything's fractal branches in our universe. Okay, that's how you know it's all from God. It's from one maker. That's why it all looks like this. It all came from here. He's trying to get to us in this retina, but we're locked in here. This is Satan's playground, and we're all blocked out. Now, here's the amazing thing. As I showed in previous videos, the star spin, the twin opposed vortexes, are the cherubim swords, blocking us from the tree of life, which is back here, the retina, right? Isn't that amazing? Now, the only way to the Father, because all vision is processed at the back of the brain. Okay. And I believe that that signifies the Father. Now, this is not all literal. This is basically the encoding of our reality in our anatomy, which is to me is amazing. Okay. So the only way to the Father, we saw you had to go through the cross. This is the optic nerve coming out of the back of the eye, just like we showed in the diagram. It crosses in the middle and it goes to the back of the brain. The image is reversed because our eyes deceive us. In this reality, we're deceived. Now, this is pretty cool. There's two bodies of water. Now, it talks about in Genesis how the Spirit of God moved across the top of the waters. What does that mean? Well, then he divided them. There's two bodies of water here. There's a body of water here called the aqueous humor, which is behind the eye. Okay. And then there's a body of water here called the vitreous humor. Okay. It's exactly what God said. Now, in the flood, they said that water came up from below, which could have been from here, and from above, from heaven. Okay. So we had two layers of water confirming all of this fitting into the anatomy of the eye. It's amazing. Now, here we have the iris, which closes and opens, and I believe this is like the light aperture, which we see their aperture imagery that they use, that the enemy uses, okay, in a lot of his stuff. And it's blocking the light. It's also, it's only allowing us to see part of the truth. That's the whole trick and joke behind it, okay? Because none of us know we're living in this, okay? We're blind. Now, this is interesting because in the Bible book, in the Bible story, Jesus, how does he heal the blind man's eye? What does he do? He takes dust and he mixes it with mud and he blocks the man's eyes. Are you starting to see how all this makes sense now? He blocks his eyes to give him sight. What he's talking about is true vision. By blocking the aperture back, and the kingdom of heaven is within, which is what it says in the Bible, right? When Jesus prayed, he went into a closet. I believe when Jesus was gone for 40 days and 40 nights in the wilderness, I believe he may have been asleep. And that's when he was tempted by the devil, you see, because a human child gestates in the womb for 40 weeks. They're in darkness in the womb, which brings us back to the inner eye, which is, again, is an analogy of the womb. Look at this. The retina is the placenta. It is the bloodline that gives blood and life to the child. Now imagine there's a human child within this eye here, upside down, okay? The head here, child's inside of here. This is the womb. Imagine this is a pregnant woman. Placenta surrounding it is the retina, okay? Can you see the chain of life? Okay. First life came through here, through the eye, and then man becomes procreators. Then we give life to other beings, our offspring. You see how that works? But all of us are born into sin. Okay. Now, this is pretty cool. So the child's in here in the amniotic fluid, right? The vitreous humor. You see the analogy? Okay. The original giver of life is back here, which is God. Okay. Which is, where does this go off to? The ovaries. See, I used to be in women's healthcare, so I know all this stuff. The ovaries are back here, right? Releases eggs. Where do those eggs come from? From God, right? Eggs come down through your ovaries. How many ovaries do you have? You have 2. Those are like the eyes again, right? They come down and they come into the uterus. Here's your uterus. Okay. This is your endometrial lining of your uterus. Okay. Child implants in the side wall. After after conception occurs, implants in the sidewall. This is the matrix. Remember, that's why it implants into the sidewall, because they're stuck in the honeycomb, just like all of us. They're going to be born into it, right? And then child grows 40 weeks. Okay. 38 weeks, but it's actually 40 after your last menstruation. After your last period, it's 40 weeks of menstruation. Now, why was the Noah's Ark at the flood for 40 days and 40 nights, surrounded by water? Do you see all the imagery? Why does Jesus baptize you? So that you can be born again in water. See? So that you come out of the hive, right? Once you believe in him, you're freed from the hive. You see? You're born again without being born into sin, but you have to believe in him. He's the only way to the Father. Okay, so this goes on. So now you have, let's see here. I'm kind of doing all this from memory, you guys. Okay, so the iris is opens and closes. That's your cervix. Okay, the cervix has to open so that the child can be born into the world, right? It dilates. Cervix dilates. Now, I told you guys the path of the sun goes like this. Then it goes up through the north to return to the east, and it makes a figure 8 like this, right? So that child's head, as it's being born, comes right through the path of the sun, and the path of the sun forms a halo around the child's head, because they are the only innocent ones. And that's why God hates abortion, you guys. They haven't even had a chance to be born into sin yet. And so that's the abomination that causes desolation in Revelation 13. And that was 42 years ago, Roe versus Wade. And now we have the second attack on God's temple, which is gay marriage. Because if everybody was gay, God's temple would cease to exist, right? All right. Let's check the chat, because I've been just talking. See how you guys are doing in here. Good to see you guys. Thanks for showing up. All right, so that's the human eye. So that was a complete recap, you guys. Now again, you know, this is all intent and love. You know, if I was on here telling you guys, you better believe this, and if you don't, you know, there's no way for you to, no. Okay, that's religion. Okay, that's not me. I'm simply sharing something with you that was pressed upon me by the Holy Spirit that helps you better understand God and draw closer to him. This is not necessary for salvation. What is necessary is that you have love in your heart, okay? And you believe in the Lord Jesus Christ, which is the concept of love. And as I told you, there's people in the Amazon who never saw or knew what Jesus' name was unless Jesus, exposed himself to them miraculously. And they had love in their heart. There are some people that had love and some people had hate. And they probably have many chances to find love, pure love, and to believe in it. And I believe that is the route to salvation. Okay. Let's take a look here. We got You saw the 13th floor. Yeah, thanks, Atreyu. That was pretty amazing stuff. That was a good decode. You know, sadly, they've gone through probably 50% of my decodes, and they've all been marked or censored, or it's unbelievable. I'm a little disheartened about that. But it is what it is. You know, it's YouTube, right? We got to deal with it, take our licks. And so that's where we're at with that, you guys. Yeah, you know, some people get freaked out when I talk about the star spin, as if, you know, that somehow the devil had something to do with that. I said, God created the stars. They spin that way for a reason. He's trying to tell us something. None of us get it because we're too busy stuck in the matrix, and we've been brainwashed to never ever look outside of anything other than how we were told the Bible is supposed to be deciphered, which is pretty much 70% wrong in the way they decipher it. They give you the base level of understanding and oftentimes purposely mislead you so that you do not look deeper into subjects. Many religions won't even acknowledge that the Nephilim were on the earth after the flood. Okay, so right there, you know, people are being misled. So what you have to do is you have to understand that there's going to be an increase in knowledge in the last days, and embrace that, and then go to God with it and help him through the process of discovery, you know? And the rule is always love. That's the rule. Okay. Anything that you do with love, God will help you have love in your heart. Let's take a look at the chat here. See what else we got going on here, you guys. Gosh, we covered a lot of stuff already tonight. You know, I've been on this radio show called CJ Mars. Great show. The guy approached me. His name is Mike. Approached me about, gosh, I guess it's been a month ago. He asked me if I would be on his radio show. All right. Now again, here's the rule. I don't agree with 100% of the content on that radio show. I don't know where they got their name or how that applies. None of that. I'm simply going on a radio show to talk about the things I talk about. When people come to you and start trying to draw associations between things about what I do and who I associate with and who I talk to and videos I like and all that stuff, that's just simply paranoia, you guys. I'm sorry, but it is. And I rely on a lot of you guys to help clean house on the channel too. If you see something going on, you got to call it out. Okay. And if you're easily swayed and you want to attack me, then I'll have to deal with that. All right. So, but a lot of the names I see on here, you guys have been with me for some time, and I really appreciate all that. The Mexican, I do all. Atreyu, I did subscribe to your channel, buddy. Atreyu, so thanks. Some good stuff on there. But you know, the main thing that I do on this channel, you guys, is to get you guys to understand that we do live in the beast system. Okay. This isn't Pollyanna time. This isn't I love my country. This isn't the time anymore. Okay. Things have changed. Okay. There's cops killing people in the streets. They've been getting away with it for a very long time. But now they have these cams. So why do you guys think they have these cams? Well, they're trying to desensitize you to the cams. Okay. That's the whole point of this. What they do is they say, okay, well, if we didn't have these cameras, then all these cops would be getting away with murder. And so here's the thing. Are we going to fall for that? I'm not. This drone thing, you know, it's funny. As soon as they started talking about flying drones over American skies, what's the first thing they did? They made toy drones for all of us to go play with. What do you think that does? It desensitizes us to drones flying around so that they're not so threatening to us anymore. Okay. So here's the deal. Now I'm not knocking anyone who goes out and gets a drone. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, you guys, we got to start looking deeper into this stuff and why stuff happens. They don't do stuff just because they like us and they're for our best interests. We already saw that with 9/11. They don't have any problem killing 3,000, 4,000 people and then sending another 8,000 to die in war. They don't have any problem with that because this is all based on a sacrificial system. There's nothing new under the sun. Okay. Moloch, do not sacrifice your children to Moloch in the fire. Okay. Molech's the owl god. Why is it an owl? Because Satan wants to be like the Most High. He wants to impersonate God. So he's gonna impersonate the stars in heaven, right? The owl eyes in the sky. And then he's gonna get you to sacrifice your children in war and abortion so that you're serving him. So you lose your salvation. Don't fall for it. Okay. That's why I'm here, to get you guys not to fall for the trick. The Joker. Okay. He's the Joker. He's going to trick you every time. Okay. You can learn a lot from these movies, but there's a lot of deception in the movies as well. And you just have to, learn how to weed through all that stuff. So normally on Sundays, the videos I do put up, a lot of people watch those videos. So that's why I was trying to do this chat on a Sunday night. I thought maybe, it's summertime. Kids aren't in school right now. And so I thought maybe more of you guys could pop on here. But it was short notice again. Kent Hovind, who I've heard a lot of that. Isn't that the guy that just got out of jail? A lot of people want me to talk to him. Okay. But then I've heard some other stuff about, danger, don't talk to him. And I've heard people telling me to talk to him. So I don't know, you guys. I go by the Holy Spirit. If the Holy Spirit tells me to talk to him, or if he reaches out to me, then I'll talk to the guy, But I've been spread so thin lately, spiritually, with a lot of the attacks and stuff. I just don't have the energy sometimes, to start something up new, or you guys got to realize too, I'm still, I probably will not go back to work. I'm done with this beast system. I'm just done. Okay. What do they call that? When you get knocked out 3 times and you technical knockout. I've suffered a technical knockout. So I'm done. Okay. So basically what I'm going to do is do what I'm doing now. Okay. Work for God and all of you guys. But it's not to say that I don't have my challenges, and that sometimes, you just get knocked down. I always get back up because God is my rock, right? He's my shepherd. He makes me lay down beside cool pastures. And of course, I have my mom as well. She's very supportive. But that comes along with its own challenges as well because of the nature of what I do. Basically, I need to be alone somewhere because not many people understand this stuff, okay? And the work we do, we're helping to affect and help people around the world. But sometimes the people closest to us just don't get it, okay? But I'm not going to stop doing what I do. All right, what else do we got here in the chat? Yeah, I hear you, brother. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's like walking through this world now. It's like walking through a minefield, literally. From the time you're born, you get a little reprieve when you're born if you're lucky enough to be born into a couple of loving parents. But there's nothing that they can tell you to prepare you for the world outside. The inundation of the steel mixed with watery clay. And I do want to talk a little bit about that because this is pretty amazing stuff. Steel mixed with watery clay, I believe, is technology. And I know that Nicholson 1968 talks a lot about this. I love his channel. I feel like we're firing on all the same cylinders, except for I don't think he believes in the inner eye earth model. And that's okay because we agree on a lot of other things. So, he's the first person that I talked to that agreed that technology and man is what the book of Daniel is talking about, the feet of steel mixed with watery clay. And they said they will mingle themselves with the seed of men. Well, who are they? They are not men, because they wouldn't be mingling themselves with the seed of men if they were men. Okay? There's something else. Now, the King James Version is the only version that says it that way. And I've looked at the Hebrew in that. And let's take a look at it now. Let's see if we can pull it up here, you guys. This will be good. This is on the fly because I haven't done this research yet. Daniel, mingle themselves. This is how I research the Bible. You know, it's funny. People tell me you need to read your Bible. I read more Bible than most pastors. Okay, because it's all written on my heart, and I just type in the keywords, and voila, here it comes. Daniel mingle themselves, seed of men. Okay, you hit this. This is how I do my Bible research. Daniel 2:43. Now watch this. Now I'm going to show you this. This is pretty crazy. Okay, here's a new international version. And just as you saw the iron mixed with baked clay, so the people will be a mixture and will not remain united, and more than iron mixes with clay. So that doesn't tell you they mingled themselves with the seed of men. So that's not telling you the truth. Okay, let's look at the a New American Standard Bible, and in that you saw the iron mixed with common clay. They will combine with one another in the seed of men. This one gets a little closer, but the King James in this instance, I believe, is the winner. They shall mingle themselves with the seed of men. And it doesn't get any more plain than that. Now, this is the last world empire before Jesus' return. In the book of Daniel, there's a man. Starts out with like bronze, and it goes to gold, then goes to silver. And by the time you get down to the feet, it is steel mixed with watery clay. This is technology, is what I believe, in many different forms. Okay. It could be iPhones and television and all the things made out of steel. Of course, there's many other plastic components and stuff, but this is what it's talking about. The steel mixed with watery clay. Another manifestation of that would be like transhumanism. I fully believe that that's going to be a component of the steel mixed with watery clay. All right. Now we can look at this. Let's take a look at the, so this was Daniel is in, so this is Hebrew. Okay. The Old Testament's written in Hebrew and Aramaic. So let's take a look at the root words of this. This is how I do my research, you guys. Whereas you saw iron mixed with miry clay, with miry, mingle themselves, they shall. You see, it's very clear here. Now, why does the New International Version twist it so that you don't get the true meaning of this verse? And this is just one example, you guys. And this is how I research the Bible. And this is why anyone that tells you only use the King James Version, they're wrong too. You have to use the whole thing. You have to look at the exact root language and decipher for yourself. Do not take the word of the translations. Okay. This is true Bible research. This is true love of the Creator, wanting to know the true meaning of what he's talking about. It says, mingle themselves they shall with one another in the offspring of men. It's as clear as day. So who are they? It's the enmity between the bloodlines, everything that I've been telling you guys about. And everyone thinks I'm crazy because Cain, because I believe Cain is of a different bloodline, because he's of the serpent seed. It's very clear what is going on here. So, yes, many of you are saying I stopped working three years ago. Here's the thing. When you really think about it, you don't need much money to make it in this life. It's those of us who are attached to the material who need $100,000 a year, $150,000 a year. And be wary of anyone who tells you you need money. You can subsist on a dwelling and that is warm, with fuel to burn if you need to make fire, and some things to eat. You don't have to be a beggar. If you can find a way, to make a little bit of money and live in an area that's not expensive, you can be fine. You don't need a college degree. You don't need any of that. All of that's a lie. I was talking to my mom about this the other day, about my education. All my education did was bring 2 children into the world and blow through $1 million, several million actually, in income with nothing, absolutely nothing to show for it at 42 years old. Okay. No, you're not blocked, Angel for God. No, I don't think so. If you were, it would say blocked here. You're not blocked. Okay, so absolutely nothing to show for. Am I any smarter for going to college? No. Okay. I probably would have been just as smart. Did I go around bragging about I had a college degree? Yes, I did that for many years, thinking I was better than other people. You see how it divides people? Um, yeah, I got jobs that other people who didn't have college degrees could have easily done, but they said you need a college degree to have this job. Dressing up in a monkey suit and selling drugs to doctors by feeding them lunches and making them feel like prima donnas. You see how evil that is? And until you wake up and understand the truth of how we're all divided against one another through this system, you'll never be happy, you'll never be free, and you'll never, ever have Christ's love in your heart, because you cannot serve two masters. People can make all of the excuses they want about money. Oh, it's not money, it's the love of money. I got news for you. It's money. And I've shown that on this channel. The dollar symbol is the serpent wrapped around the tree of life. The people that are making those excuses are people that are invested in the system. They have mortgages, they have gold and silver, they've stored up. They're playing the stock market, they got 401ks. For them to admit that what I'm saying is true is to admit that their whole life's a scam. We don't own anything. We don't own our homes. I owned a home. I owned 2 homes in my former life. And basically, those homes did nothing but hold a golden carrot in front of me that I could then take equity out and have everything I ever wanted, right? And it was never enough. Because once you start getting everything you want, everyone around you wants everything that they want. And you just end up filling your life with all these needless things that mean nothing. And that's the truth, you guys. It's probably going to be hard for a lot of people to hear, but it's the truth. Angel, for God, you are not blacklisted. Let me look in the settings here. Let me make sure, because I did a search on Angel, and Angel White's blacklisted because he stabbed me in the back, but you're not blacklisted. Let's see here. Why is this guy? That guy doesn't have approved users. Oh, he's an approved user. Okay. Let's take a look. Let's find this here. Let's fix this real quick. Angel. Okay, there's Angel White. And that's it. So you're good, brother. I don't know why it's saying that. It's weird. Let's try it again. Yeah, just one. Okay. You're good. I don't know why it's saying that every time you make a comment. That's weird. All right, back to the chat. So that's the truth about money, you guys. Sorry to go on about that, and it may make some people feel uncomfortable, but I believe that is the truth. I've never been happier in my life than not to be in the middle of a transaction all the time. You know, that can get stressful after a while. Being in the middle of a transaction all the time, knowing bills are coming at you left and right, and we make our own beds, and we have to lie in it. All right, let's take a look here. Why isn't my chat loading? Can you guys still hear me? Probably get off here pretty soon. We've been going for quite. Oh, there's the chat. Okay, let's take a look here. Yeah, you can't take anything with you. Exactly, Matthew. You hit the nail on the head. Our treasure is in heaven. You know, people they say they believe in Jesus, but then they don't even follow his example. Your treasure is in heaven. No part of that says that you're supposed to store up treasures here. Okay. Treasure. Okay. Well, people say, well, I'm not rich. I just get by. I'm just saving for my future. Okay. Okay. You're saving for your future. All of a sudden a car hits you, runs you over. You're dead. You go to heaven, or if you're lucky, God says you barely made it in. And you say, what? Well, I had to do that, God. No, you didn't. You don't have to. Your treasure was in heaven. It's how you live each and every minute of your life. That's how you're storing up treasure. If you're focused on storing up money, then you're not focused on God's kingdom. Okay? That's plain and simple. Okay? Now, then we get into goals and all that. You know, I have goals. I want to save up, but I'm saving up for a $30,000 house, not a $350,000 house. Do you see the difference? Okay. I'll live in a shack if I need to, a little bit of land in whatever part of the country I can afford. But I'm not going to, go out and get back in the beast system game, and I'm going to do things on God's timing, you see? And that's the difference. Now, I understand a lot of you have families and children. There's a lot of control coming down the pipe, you guys. I live in California, and they've already doing forced vaccinations on children. They're talking about extending that to adults. Now, many of you saw the video Professor Doom put out where they're taking out all these holistic doctors who have identified this drug that replenishes what was taken out of our bodies through vaccination as children. How in the heck they were able to pass a law in California to force vaccinations on children when there's inconclusive evidence showing that it could, in fact, cause autism, mental retardation, and everything else is beyond me. How they passed gay marriage here, beyond me, when 70%, 80% of the population did not want it approved. They just kept hitting us over the head with it. And you got to ask yourself, who is promoting all this stuff? It's not the people. Now you understand what we're up against, okay? Politics is a lie. Don't waste your time. Donald Trump is the Trump card. He's here to get Hillary in office. He'll never become president. If he does, he's compromised too, okay? All of this is a shell game, all right, you guys? Do not be deceived. You can literally believe nothing that you see on television. And so when I see people putting their effort and their time and their energy into these things, I'm sad for them because, you're taking your eyes off of the spiritual things and you're actually giving credence and credit to this stuff, which is just empty nothingness is what it is. So I do want to share with you guys that I've been getting a lot of sleep lately. And I believe that is what we're lacking. I believe that is what we're out of balance. I don't think 8 hours a night is enough sleep. I've been having really vivid dreams, positive dreams. My nightmares have subsided, and it's been a long time. It's been almost a year. And it's amazing because the dreams are, God's telling me things in my dreams, which is just amazing. And I wake up and I have material to present to you guys. I do not believe that, like I said, 8 hours is enough sleep. And I think that when Jesus says, look within, I believe that the dream state is where we will be given much of the guidance that we need to make it through these end times. He says in the last days, young men will have dreams and visions. Also, the word dream in the Bible is only mentioned when there is a prophecy. That's it. Every single time. The word sleep is mentioned in the Bible 88 times. We mentioned that on the last show. All right, let's look through the chat here. I want to answer some of your guys' question. Yeah, there's no point to voting. Shelly, you're right. Yes, GCMAF. Thank you for pointing that out, Lance. Appreciate it. Could cure Crohn's disease? Yes. Yes. Basically, when we're born, they basically inject us with like a 50% chance of something going wrong in our life in our lifetime is what they do. You can get cancer from it. You can mentally retarded. All these things can happen to you. It's a way of eugenics is what it is. And for those of you that have that follow Professor Doom, he did an excellent video. Look, you guys, you got to look at the agenda. Follow the money. If they don't want a drug in this country and they first raided the guy's house, then did they kill him first or raided his house? I can't remember the order of this holistic doctor. First his house got raided, then like 2 days later ended up dead. So you got to ask yourself who and why. Okay, forget about all the other, it's a hoax. Forget about all that. Okay, look at what happened. Use your critical thinking. The guy was killed because he was going to find a cure for cancer, and these companies have billions of dollars invested in this. You guys, I know how this works. Okay, and these pharmaceutical companies, because I worked in them, are ruthless. I was laid off like 3 or 4 times. Why? Because they didn't have a drug for me to sell. So it was just like this roller coaster. So every 2 or 3 years, I'd get laid off. I'd have to think on my feet, have to go out there and make it happen because I had a mortgage, right? I couldn't just like move. I couldn't just, no, you got to go make it happen. You know, the amount of stress that comes along with that? I'm just done. So this is what happens. You know, these pharmaceutical companies, they got billions of dollars. Okay. Many of them are run by probably the devil himself because of the pure evil that they spew out. And of course, when you're in the middle of it, you don't see all that. You know, my former life, it was I'll tell you a little bit about my former life if you guys want to know. Worked for a couple really big pharmaceutical companies. One was Bear Healthcare, and one was Organon. And the amount of money these people spend on our sales meetings alone, we had guest speakers. Usually the meetings were about anywhere from 3 to 8,000 people, somewhere in that range. We'd fill up entire hotels, exotic locations. Went to 1 year we went to Puerto Rico, had a meeting there. Been to Vegas 3 or 4 times in my career. Texas, New Jersey, it's their favorite. It's where all the pharmaceutical companies are. And you know, oh, right on, HJ. Yeah, so you know the deal. We had one of the astronauts from Apollo 13 mission spoke for us. We had Sinbad spoke for us. We had Smash Mouth play for us at the Harley Davidson plant in Texas. Met some celebrities along the way. We had Jim Belushi's band played for us. We launched that NuvaRing. I sold NuvaRing for a while. A little bit about me, you guys. It's not important. It's the past, but it's where I came from. It's what I did for 10 years. Okay. Sold a lot of different chemicals and drugs that hurt people. And now I do this. Okay. So anyone that's out there says, oh, his channel's monetized. Okay. This is what you tell him. You know, he doesn't work for the beast anymore. Give the guy a break. I'm here to try to help you guys and help you guys understand what's going on. All right, let's look in the chat here. Let's take a look here. Cancer is a few things. It's a toxin. It's acidic tissue and low vibration. Eat alkaline. Absolutely. You guys, you cannot eat enough. Whoa, you got supersized, Atreyu. You guys cannot eat enough greens. Here's what I do. I go and buy the biggest bag of spinach I can find. Okay. Biggest bag. And I try to eat it with every single meal. That alone will regulate your weight, your blood pressure, help you sleep better. I put it in my omelet in the morning, and then I'll make a salad for lunch. And pretty much usually skip dinner, but I have a pretty big salad. But it's mostly spinach, raw spinach. Okay. You know, most Americans don't eat like that, you guys. Most people hate spinach. But when you mix it with some really good food, you can put a little bit of the good stuff on top. You'd be amazed. You'd be amazed. So that's how I eat. I try to eat. And of course, I splurge every once in a while. Like tonight, Tonight, I made my mom some fried catfish for her and her friends. And then she got some cake and ice cream. So I'm going to go down there and have a little bit of that. But for the most part, if you can stay on that regiment 4 days a week, sometimes I'll do a blueberry shake, like a smoothie for breakfast, homemade, bust out some orange juice, throw some blueberries in there, some frozen strawberries, mix it up, and that'll fill you up till like 1 o'clock. Okay. You eat when you're hungry, sleep when you're tired. Okay. Do work. That's good for your soul. When you have energy, you're active. When you don't have energy, you rest. You go on God's balance time, not the system's balance time, not the 8 hours sleep, rest, or rest, work, and play. That's their time. Okay. So give that a shot, you guys. I do raw as much as I can. That's why I like the giant bag of spinach, because it's raw, and I can eat as much of it as I want. Certain foods have negative calories, like your celery. Okay. But I know it's hard to eat celery. Real fibrous and doesn't taste like anything. But if you happen to like celery, eat that. It's got negative calories. It actually makes you lose weight. There's no calories in it. It's negative calories. I'll probably stay on another half an hour. I'm enjoying this, you guys. As long as you guys aren't bored, I'm just talking. To me, I sound like I'm boring, but maybe you guys are getting something out of this. All right, let's take a look here. You're cool, Casey. Supersize. Yeah, I clicked on your thing and you got supersized, man. Thank God, not the plants. Yes, absolutely. Everything comes from God, you guys. I was downstairs. My mom likes to watch a lot of TV, so she tries to get me to watch TV, and I literally, it's like nails on a chalkboard. I can only stand it for about 30 minutes. Bless her heart, but I just can't. That's how I feel about TV. When I'm doing these decodes, there is a level of excitement because I know that I'm going to expose the enemy. So I do get excited about that. But to actually watch something for entertainment, I really don't enjoy doing that anymore, you guys. But we did watch a good show, and it was on atheism. I don't know if you guys saw this. It was like on a main channel, or a main like channel like ABC or something. And they got these atheists, and like they have churches now, and they get like tithe and everything. So they're using all it's hilarious. And they're like praising. I'm like, well, what are you praising? We're praising humanity. Well, where did humanity come from? It evolved. I'm like laughing. I'm going, this is hilarious. Really? And so this is what's going on now. And then you got this new generation of kids who are atheists, and they come on there and they think they know something. And so they say, yeah, when atheists first came out, they were all militants, but we're the next generation and we're calm and peaceful. And I'm going, wow, you know, it says in the book of Enoch, they shall think ye selves gods. And that's exactly what's going on, you guys. As soon as God cuts off your little retinal branch through your choice, because you're denying him, you die. You wither up and die. It's not him doing it, it's you doing it. The same way, if a child was in this womb and they said to the mother, I don't want your placenta anymore, child will die. You see? Yeah, that works. It's simple. God, he actually embedded this knowledge into our eye so that we could understand. Okay? So we could understand. Now, Satan wants to elevate himself in the north above the Most High. This is his north. This is where he's elevated himself, up here. Okay? In here. He wants to elevate himself. It says this in the Bible. This is why he has the the pyramids in here. Okay? The pyramid fits in here. It's the all-seeing eye. Okay? Probably the fovea. This is like the blind spot in the eye. I don't know. Or maybe it's this this here. But you can actually fit the pyramid in here, and it's Satan's dominion over this earth. Okay? And it's as above, so below, right? So if you take a pyramid this way and you invert another pyramid the other way, you get like a Star of David. I think we did that. As above, so below, right? So that's what's going on inside the human eye. All right, what else do we have here? So again, you guys, please, please, please always check to make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Channel's doing really well, you guys. I know I've seemed frustrated sometimes. I just, like I said, it's been a tough couple weeks. Got almost 6 million views, which means that like 1 in 8 or 10 people in the United States has seen one of my videos somewhere, sometime. And that's pretty cool. Okay. Almost up to 23,000 subscribers. That's good. As you guys know, this channel should have way more subscribers, but it is what it is. And I'll take it. Okay. I'll take it because it's a blessing to even have all of you guys on here. All right. It's pretty amazing. All right. Let's take a look here. Covered the Megadeth song. Let's say how. Back to the chat. Question: why did anyone mock Islam and Muhammad, which condemn publicly shames and execute sodomites in Islamic religion? Pride parade, but thousands mock Jesus. Any thoughts? Good question. You know, Jesus was the real deal. So what happened was people, you know, that's why I don't ever get too discouraged. Jesus performed miracles in plain sight. I can't do that. And he was still crucified. Okay. Eventually, this is all going to come down to the wire, you guys. But Jesus was called a charlatan. He was called a magician. He was called all these names. The Pharisees accused him of working with the devil. They didn't believe he was the Son of Man, even though he had pure love in his heart. So I tell you guys, this all comes down to intention. Hopefully, I display to you guys each and every day my intentions. Okay, even how I deal with situations, and sometimes it's very hard to have patience. You know, like with Around Saturn's Eye, which I believe started all this. I believe all of this mistrust and division was started by him because everyone freaked out. I had people coming on here asking me to proclaim Jesus as my savior. I said, I've done that 100 times on my channel. And because they didn't, you know, it was like they were testing the spirits or, you know, I said, look, this has to stop. This has to stop. All right. What else do we have here? If God exists, atheists only non-believers for 120 years at most, then they face the truth. As long as they do no wrong, they will be forgiven for non-belief. Okay. Satan also not like Jesus, maybe. Yes, we should all be skeptical. I agree. There's a lot of fakers out there, but you're always going to know them by their fruit, you guys. This is what I understand about okay, so you guys, you know, every once in a while in my personal life, I'll slip up and I'll say a curse word, okay? But as you guys see on this channel, I do not ever, you know, I rarely even get combative with people because that's fruit. If I can't show long-suffering, quickness to anger, if I can't exhibit any of those properties, then what am I doing here, okay? You know, you can tell a person's fruit by how they handle situations. All right. I've dealt with many of you, hundreds of you, even thousands in many various situations. And all of you know who I am. And in hindsight, you can all agree that if you had only looked at the person's fruit, you'd be able to tell what was going on. You know, there was a situation with Round Saturn's Eye where people were calling him out in a polite way, and he immediately attacked them. He called them Jezebels and all this. Okay, that's his fruit. Okay, the other fruit was, how many times did you guys see me on his channel saying good job, good job, good job, good job, good job, good job? And then how many times did he say good job back? Now, of course, I can't answer every single email that someone sends me, but when it's a major channel and you got two major channels and one guy's trying to help the other guy, and you're not seeing any reciprocation, that tells you something, okay? That tells you there's either some ego built in there or a competitive spirit. None of that's fruitages of the spirit, okay? I'll give you a good example of where someone has been like really cool, and I think that they are the real deal, and that's Nicholson 1968. I mention his channel, and I believe he mentions my channel at times, and he comments back to me when I comment on his channel. That's called a mutual relationship, mutual friendship, okay? That's the real deal. That's good fruit. All right. Dabu, you know, I'm a tiny channel compared to his, yet I see him on Twitter and he's always favoriting my tweets and sharing my stuff. He's even done some videos of mine. You know, he'll message me and ask me first. I think that's really cool because he's like a huge channel. He doesn't need to do that, but he does. Okay. Now, again, I'll preface this again. People are going to say, oh, you're in league with Dabu. I don't agree with 100% of what he says. I'm just telling you an example of good fruit, and he shows good fruit there. He doesn't need to do that. I'm just a little channel compared to him, but he does it, and that's really cool. All right. Thanks, Steve-O. That's awesome. Yeah, it is a lot of time and effort. And now I work full time for God. To be honest with you, the last 3 years, I really wasn't spending a lot of time working anyway. I had my jobs and I took care of my customers, but my heart wasn't in it. So they probably needed to fire me anyway. But it was like nails on a chalkboard when I have to get in my monkey suit and go do another lunch. I'm like, this is stupid, and then these people don't care. I mean, some of my customers cared. For the most part, it was a free lunch and an ego trip. And so I said, I can't, how much longer can I do this? And I tried to save a little money, and, God had other plans for me. So there you go. So at least my kids are raised. I'm not a deadbeat dad. I got all my child support paid up. That's all done. I don't have any bills. I don't have any debt. God bless me with that. So the least I can do is stand up, man up, and help other people, no matter what. And every time you guys send me messages that you've been blessed by my work, and then I, of course, reflect that back to God because He's the source of all that. And then I love you guys. So, helps me go on another day. All right. Channels linked to Dabu on Google search in my area. Cool. Right on. And like I said, you guys, Dabu showed me nothing but good fruit. And again, God, you got supersized again. This chat likes you, man. I should stop putting my cursor in there, shouldn't I? I know there people have their criticisms of him, but I'm one example of, and he's been sharing my videos since my channel had 10,000 subscribers. Okay, so I must have hit a resonant chord with him that he likes and he trusts me, and so that's cool. Okay, then I get channels with 500 subscribers attacking me. So you do the math on that. So, is what it is. All right, let's take a look at a couple more of these comments. We've been on here a while. Glad you guys are liking this. Let's take a look here. There is no little channel. Yeah. Hey, I heard a story that I guess people can buy subscribers. That's crazy. Like who would do that, It's been a long road for subscribers for me, but I can tell you this. Every month that goes by, I have a few more, and it's been that way for the past 3 years. And that's all you can ask for, right? Self-employed is best, yes. Hopefully find something the government can't stick their fingers in, okay? Because they want to stick their fingers in anything. It used to be a time if you're a good cook, you could load up a bunch of tacos you made in the back of your car and drive up to like a sightseeing place where there's a bunch of people and sell 100 tacos and make enough money to put gas in your car and all that stuff. And because now everything is controlled, you can't do little things like that anymore. I had this great idea. It's called a full deck wallet insert. I invented it. I took like 5 sleeves from like credit card sleeves, and I bound them together. I like had this little clip I put on there, and it made like a little wallet. It was really cool. You could fit like 5. I could do 5 sleeves or 7, and it folded up like fanned out like a deck of cards. Great idea. There was nothing else out there like it. Man, I tried to market that thing for an entire year and a half. This is the system we live in, you guys. Even if you have a good idea, the odds of it taking off, or someone stealing it, the system is built. They'll give you the image or the idea that you can make it big and that you can win the lottery, and all these things. All this stuff's programming to get you spinning your wheels and obsessing over riches and wasting your time on trying to come up with a good idea. And then you stab yourself all over with many pains, which is what the Bible says too. Then your life's over. You lost all your friends because you're just obsessed with, trying to get money. And I'd rather lose all my friends standing up for God. That's worth it, rather than doing all that. Because I tried that. I finally took my website down for that wallet insert. And I just was so frustrated with the whole process. I think I spent that year like $600 in keeping the website up, and just no one bought it. And I was like, why aren't people buying this? This is a great idea. And I just realized it's like it's all, the whole game is rigged. The whole game is rigged against us, you guys. So the best thing you can hope to do is, if you do get a good streak and you do make a little bit of money, save that money and just resign yourself to the fact that you're going to live a simple life. Try to find some way of bringing in some kind of residual income each month, $500, $600, $700, some kind of way, without having to be a slave to anyone or anything. And then find a place to live. It might not necessarily be in a city that you want to live. It might be out in the middle of nowhere, but at least you'll be free, right? That's the land of the free. That's the true land of the free. Not paying rent, $2,500 a month for rent, because that job that's helping you pay that $2,500 a month for rent is going to go away one day. I know, because it happened to me, you guys. 5 times it happened to me. And you got all these people depending on you, and then all of a sudden you got to perform, right? You got to perform. You got to be a slave. I don't want to be a slave to anybody, you know? So let's take a look in the chat here. Glad you guys are enjoying this. I got to hop on KJ's chat next time he has one. I really enjoy his chats too. He's the one that kind of taught me to do this. I kind of follow his format because I was on there. I was like, this is really cool, man. Like, it's almost like being on the phone with you guys. You know, I don't catch all the comments, but it's really cool. And trust me, this is a lot easier than, like, you know, responding to an email, because I think you guys do a good job too of kind of keep having, like, you know, your comments are very focused, and so I can look at and boom, it's like I can answer it and talk about it, you know, so it's perfect. Cryptocurrency and got Bitcoin. I already lost all my friends for God. Yep. But you're free, and that's the amazing thing, and your treasures in heaven. And your true friends are all the people of the body of Christ, the other people that lost their friends, right? And then all the people that lost all their friends get together, and then they all become friends. And that's kind of how it works. And gosh, I guess thank goodness for the internet. I know the enemy created it, but you know, it is what it is. Let's take a look here. Yeah, the government knows everything, Angel. He knows everything. They know everything. They know a lot more than you think they know, actually, but they can't ever tell you they know, because then they would give up the secret, and then they'll save it for something like really good. They also like to use gradualism. Okay, let's talk a little bit about that, and then we'll kind of start getting off of here. Let's see here. What is this? Gradualism. So what they like to do, you guys, is they do everything in very small increments. Okay. Sometimes they'll actually backpedal a bit. So they'll kind of go, oh, thanks, Azimuth Clark. Yeah, it's pretty mind-boggling, that Piper video, huh? Anyway, they'll do things in very small increments, and then sometimes they'll actually backpedal. It's like a current and a tide, right? And then they'll kind of move forward a little bit and backwards and then forward, and each time they're incrementally tightening the screws, right? They're turning up the temperature on the boiling pot of water, and we're all the frogs in the water, and we don't know we're boiling. Okay. Then generations come and go, right? Then they keep renaming the generations, right? Generation X, generation this, generation that. And then next thing you know, things have changed. And then the new generation thinks that their reality is normal. They think it's, oh, no, it's fine. Prime example. I grew up in the 80s and 90s, okay? Never anything. I'm not knocking gays, okay? This is not the purpose of this, okay? Because I know some of my subscribers may be gay. It's not the purpose. I'm just giving an example. But, you know, we were not desensitized to the gay agenda, okay? You didn't really see it on TV. And if you did, the gays were portrayed as, you know, kind of loud, flamboyant, different. We had Liberace. I remember that back in the day with his candelabra on the piano. And people are like, that's really good music, but the guy's gay, you know? And so basically children didn't look up to these people as what do you call it? There was no children's role model of being gay. It was not an option at that point. Now, of course, I understand that some people are maybe born with a propensity to kind of move that direction, But I can tell you more often than not, uh, many times people are either manipulated into that lifestyle. I do know it's like a crown of honor for people that are gay already to, they call it like a virgin, like someone who's straight and they can turn them gay. There's a lot of that going on. And so, okay, so then you got to ask yourself now, what's changed between the 80s and 90s and today? Well, now I would say half the kids in that age range are bi or gay. It's unbelievable. And then all their role models are bi or gay. Okay. And so what happens is now it becomes an option. It becomes normal. And it shapes our reality. It shapes perceptions and customs. That's gradualism. Okay. That's why they had to get it. They had to pass it in California. They had to. The Supreme Court had to pass it because it's part of an agenda. What's the agenda? Chaos, you guys. So that's one example of gradualism. Okay. Keep tightening the screws little by little. My mom asked me the other day, why aren't there any jobs in America? I said, Mom, because NAFTA and because of all these free trade agreements. She goes, who came up with that bright idea? NAFTA. I go, everybody okayed it at the time. It was great. Everyone thought it was great. We let it happen. So, what do? Now there's no jobs for people. There's no manufacturing jobs here in America anymore. What do? Well, we do service jobs and we do tourism jobs and we do financials, life insurance, the drug companies. You have the healthcare industry is always going to be big because we have aging population. Okay. But if you don't have the skills for any of that stuff, what do? Well, they put you in the system. You think they give us food stamps because we're all great and they want to help Americans? No. You guys, here's the truth about America. I want to break it down for you. Okay. This is going to be very difficult for many of you to hear, but this is the truth. America is the arm, the enforcer of the world. We are the military of the world. Those who do not comply with the New World Order, we politically make it happen. Okay. Everything else is what they call like subsidiary to that. All these jobs, the food line, the production, the this, the that, it's all a support apparatus for the arm. That's all. Okay. We've seen how they don't give a crap about countries. We know what happens when they don't give a crap about a country. People starve. No infrastructure, sewage running in the streets. Okay. We live a plush life because we provide soldiers. Okay. We provide so many soldiers, they don't even have to have a draft. We send our sons and daughters to war willingly. We tell them we're proud of them and they're serving our country and fighting for freedom. It's all a joke, you guys. We are the arm of the world. We're the enforcers. Okay. Just like Nazi Germany. And so that's what we are. And we all live in this country and talk about how great it is, but they're just holding up this giant straw man to get what they need to get done. Okay. Because it's more efficient that way. Right. And that's the truth. All of our presidents have been selected. We're consumers. I started realizing it when I was going through all these jobs, right? They'd hire me. I get my monkey suit, get myself a haircut, pretend like I was like smart, try to act smart, study, research the company, go through all the hoops, bells and whistles to get one of these jobs. And they'd usually hire me because I was black. They needed to fill their little quota. I remember this one interview I went on. I actually did really, really well. I outperformed everybody in the interview. And the response was, We really liked you, but you didn't fit the position. So in other words, they already had enough. It's all a big pony show. It's all a big playhouse. Is what it is. It's a playhouse. Okay. We're going to build our team. We need one black guy, one Asian, two women, and two white guys. Okay. Like literally, it comes down to that. All right. And they do it because, whatever, because it's a big playhouse. Right. So then I'd run this thing for like 2 years, and the whole time all the racism would come out, mistrust because I'm African American, and always on me. I was usually smarter than 9/10 of the team, but they always treated like I was like the dumbest. And people who knew people would go up the ranks. People who didn't know anybody were just placeholders, and I was usually a placeholder. And I got sick of it. I said, I'm worth more than this. And this is the world standards, and I don't want to live by the world standards, because the world standards, you're never going to get ahead unless you know somebody, unless you're beautiful, unless you're linked into a bloodline or a business, like a business thing. That's how people in America get ahead. Okay. And if you're not any of those things, then you're the rest of us. But guess what? Jesus came for the rest of us, right? That's the beauty of it. He came for the meek. We're the ones that are going to inherit the earth. All right. So there you go. He didn't come for the bloodlines that control the world. So let's see what we got in here. Love your comments, you guys. You guys are awesome. Gosh, I've been talking for a while this time, huh? Just really enjoying this, you guys. I should probably get off here though. Let's see. Okay, wait. There's some comments up here. Let's scroll this up a little bit. It's all about the knowledge base. Yes. I'm glad a lot of this is resonating with you guys, because it is the truth, you guys. Okay. I'm only 42, but I feel like I'm 80 sometimes because of all that I've been through already in my short life, and so, yes, we love everybody, you guys. Love everybody, but hate the sin. Okay. Love everybody. We're going to love our gay brothers and sisters the same way, more than they're going to get love from most people. Because if they're cold, we're going to put a blanket on them. If they're hungry, we're going to feed them. Okay. And that's how people change, is through love. They see that someone loves, and then the anger goes away. And then that's when we stop sinning, right? We want to please the person that created us and try to do what they tell us to do. We let go of all the anger and fear and guilt. Okay, let's take a look here. Yes, I may be in the bloodline and not know it. Sometimes I wonder that myself. Because it seems like these people have been kind of following me for much of my life since I was younger. I've asked my mom if there's any history in our family, any Masons or anything like that. And she says no. But, who knows? In a spiritual realm, they know what's going on. So, all right. Thanks, Linda. Appreciate it. Many blessings. Thanks for you guys who were able to stay on for as long as you could. It's been really awesome. Love you guys. What night is good for most of you guys? Because I'd like to do a night where we could, get a good group in here. And, see what's going on. I like to connect with as many of you guys as possible, and I really love this format, and I love that you guys are getting something out of it. I like sharing my screen with you guys so we can, look up stuff right in real time, which is really cool. Good night, the Mexican. Good night. Thank you for coming. All right. I'm really liking this. Well, I'll try to schedule it a little bit more in advance, but usually, like I said, it's kind of a feeling I get, and I'm like, man, I want to get on here and talk to my friends tonight. So I'll try to do like 24-hour in advance. I know that Friday nights nobody's around on YouTube. Most people are doing their thing on Friday nights, maybe having dinner with their family. But I don't know. Maybe we'll do like a Saturday morning thing, Saturday morning cartoons. I don't know. Sunday night is great. Okay. Well, maybe we'll do this again next Sunday night. I think once we get into a pattern, maybe if I could do it like every week at the same time, you guys, it'll be better for you guys. All right. All right, you guys. Love each and every one of you. And I think we're going to get off here now. Take care and be safe, you guys.